How could you mess it up?
Don't you remember?
Hi, I'm Ryan Bergara, and welcome to Making Watcher, a series that takes an honest look at how the three of us decided to venture out into the wild and make our own company. The last time we left off, we had just officially launched Watcher. Yay! And things were going great. Then, shortly after, we entered the new year. We had to abruptly shift to a completely remote workflow for reasons you probably already know.
So we launched the company in December 2019, announced it to the public, everybody was super excited. And then I think it was like literally 4 months later, March 2020, when we were like, oh no.
Starting a company at the beginning of a pandemic, would not recommend.
It was a weird time to work because everybody was very segmented. Everyone was doing their best. Everyone was doing their best, and it was the worst.
It's a loaded question, but how was working during COVID?
It was, scary for all of us just to be living during that time, letting alone trying to make sure that, this company succeeded and, made money. And
looking back, I would say that I tended to be more optimistic. Like, we'll get through this and we'll figure it out. And I kind of always have the mentality that, like, if you do things the right way, everything will be okay. Which is not necessarily always true.
Feels like I'm a vlogger. We're doing a coronavirus Making Watcher segment here. We're all recording this remotely, so I'm getting him to record his screen.
I guess I am a person who does thrive in person-to-person interaction and only being able to really concentrate on just the anxieties of the situation as opposed to feeling the energy of what we're doing here was a nightmare for me. I'm smiling, but inside, I'm a mess.
Every week we were like, hey, we got another video up, congrats! But behind the scenes we were like, what are we doing? Oh God!
So here's a little bit of a tour of how we film Watcher Weekly. Got my sound over there that's nobody's monitoring, so sometimes it peaks. We got our Zoom call here with the lovely crew. What's up, say hi. And then we got the camera, which I can monitor. And of course, my washing machine, which isn't part of the shoot, but it's right there, so I get to look at it.
So what was your first shoot together?
First in-person shoot that we had was actually Too Many Spirits. At that point, I was used to not talking to other people, like my social skills went down. And then all of a sudden we have these guys talking to each other, and then we have a shoot to do, and then we have this and we have this, so it was crazy.
Well, look who decided. Hey!
it was weird. It's weird. I haven't seen us all together since the second week of March.
It's been over 6 months. It was a hurdle to go through, but it was fun. It was worth it.
I'm very proud of the content. Very proud of most of the content we made during quarantine. Making content that relies on comedy, so much about timing and hearing and being able to react quickly, and it was hard.
I think the pandemic was bad. That's where I come down on that.
As we started to approach the time where we could kind of maybe come back together, that the office wasn't going to be big enough.
That office was sort of like a coffin. There was no real airflow in there. And at some point during the pandemic, they stopped collecting trash because no one was in the offices. Katie and I would go into Shoot Puppet History and we would, order Chipotle for lunch. Then we'd go back 3 weeks later and we'd be like, this whole room smells like rotten Chipotle. That office has been condemned, I assume, because it smells like old beans.
The Sunset office was just one rectangle that had a shoot space and desks, and that was it. And we have a brand new office. It's great.
I actually love our old office, unpopular opinion, but at the same time, we have meeting rooms here, which is great, so.
Oh, crazy cat, whoa. I like that most of Making Watcher now is just gonna be a bunch of There was just so much of the energy and mischief and fun that we have in the office that I feel like was lost over the pandemic, that as soon as we got together, it was fun again, and it reminded us oh yeah, we love this. We love being together. We love making content.
Monster does that to a child.
It is certainly a breath of fresh air to be able to share a space with people again.
Maybe Shane will keep the name.
Smile.
Oh, yeah.
He'll sit between our desks.
Yeah, he will.
Hi, Ryan. Hi, Ryan. Remember when you thought you won me in the white elephant?
Remember when you thought you won me in the white elephant?
That's pretty good. It's funny.
He's a good guy.
During the midst of all this, we added new faces to Team Watcher. During the pandemic, we hired our head of production, Nicole Baudois.
My background is all physical production. I worked in feature films before this. I was independent, and then I was in-house at Paramount for like 5 years. So joining Watcher has been my first foray into the digital world, and that's definitely been different, but in a good way. It's a lot of fun.
Thank the Lord for Nicole, because the company is founded by people who are very creatively minded, but not organizationally minded. And she brings that other part of the brain that we were just missing.
Nicole implemented countless systems and really just whipped us into shape, and really just went like above and beyond in a way that no one imagined. It almost felt like a charity, like someone just coming in and being like, you all desperately need this. I'm going to swoop in, help you all, and it was incredibly kind of her.
The next person that joined the team was Jeong, who we had worked closely with at BuzzFeed.
Hi, I'm Annie. I am a new creative producer at Watcher. I joined this summer, which is exciting.
Really interesting to talk about Annie when she's literally right there. I worked with her a lot at BuzzFeed. She did the famous Berry Boys video.
Annie's got the same sort of crazy brain as all of us. I've never watched an Annie video and been like, this is not thoroughly entertaining from top to bottom.
I like the prospect of working at a smaller company full of my friends. It's very exciting to finally work together again.
We also hired our first intern ever, and my cousin, Carter.
We've gone through a tough period here. We've been shooting nonstop for the past 2 months. Everyone here has worked themselves to the bone, I feel like. Boom! Anthony just sunk a shot.
Just sunk a shot, baby.
After taking a shot.
With the C-stand.
We all deserve this right now. Let me just have this, please. Okay. How do I open this?
Also Carter.
Oh, also Carter!
Wow.
We picked him up off the street. No, he's my cousin. I've known those guys since he was in diapers.
This video is brought to you by NordVPN. As a creator, it's important to know that our viewers have access to their favorite content no matter where they are in the world. Your favorite video games, podcasts, or ghost hunting shows are only a single click away. Using NordVPN also keeps you safe by blocking ads and malware-ridden websites. Best of all, NordVPN uses double encryption and secures your traffic on public Wi-Fi networks. You can also secure 6 devices at once, and it's compatible with all major operating systems, making it accessible for everyone. Now, more than ever, it's important to have safe, reliable access to the internet. And with this special holiday deal, you can go to nordvpn.com/watcher to get a 2-year plan plus 1 additional month on a massive, gigantic discount. Now, back to the show.
We had a conversation in the spring where Ryan and Shane told me that they're going to be doing another year of Unsolved.
I knew I had to finish out Unsolved because one of my things that I always said I was going to do was I'm going to finish that project in a way that it deserves, because I feel very strongly that when you're a creator and you make something that people enjoy and they allow you the opportunity to keep making that, it's now on you to reward them for that loyalty and for that support. And the way you don't do that is by taking a huge dump on the last season and just being like, here.
It meant a lot to all of us to be able to say goodbye to that project, to be able to work together on that, to send it off right and say goodbye the way we wanted to.
It was probably the most I've ever worked during an Unsolved trip in my hotel and on planes and stuff. Ryan's always very good at that. Anytime we'll be in an airport, he's like, I'm gonna pop on my headphones and leave some notes real quick. But I'm always like, yeah, I'll do it when I get back. But I really had to really hunker down for a lot of it.
We knew that it was gonna be hard. We knew that it was gonna take a toll on us mentally. And we also knew that it was gonna take a toll on Watcher.
Are you ready? No. Okay. Get out of the way. Okay.
I think Ghost Files was more of a Unsolved is ending, I'm gonna sit in a room and I'm gonna think. Once I kind of wrapped my head around the concept, it became pretty clear, like, we need to make this show. I wouldn't want to just make a show just for the virtue of capitalizing on something that was already successful. I wanted to make a show that sure does that, but also has merit and value and occupies a space that hasn't been done before.
My green bean days.
Green bean? What does that mean?
Starbucks.
It's actually pretty cool. It's pretty like.
This meeting is supposed to start at 1:30.
Yeah, it's 1:48 right now.
All right, cool. So this is
She's sliding it. But it's cool.
that's just Shane does it at the beginning of
I do that every meeting.
Every meeting, Shane goes, all right, I need your best ideas, everybody. Okay, so basically this is the spiritual successor to Unsolved. There are some things that obviously made Unsolved as successful as it was, but I wanted to draw on some of the things that I think could be improved. The conceit is still somewhat the same. It's Shane and I hunting ghosts. He wrongly does not believe in ghosts. I believe in ghosts. What if before we go to a location, we reach out to our fan base and basically say, anybody who's ever been here, if you have any evidence from this place, send it to us. And that way we could put it in the show and then have evidence in the show that we then try and recreate at the location. Worst thing that happens, nothing happens, but we still have a compelling clip. What was the strength of Unsolved? A lot of people would say maybe it's the dynamic between Shane and I, or that it's the balance of horror and comedy. But I always felt like the strength of the show was the audience. I know that sounds cheesy, but it's the truth. The power of that audience and their dedication to the content we were making, really build a community around that was something that I realized this needs to be part of the show. Also, being able to go all out with the toys and the gear. We could make the individual investigations better. We can make some of our ITC better. We have a new spirit box that's badass.
Now this feels like the fucking big leagues. And I truly mean that, because when we started Unsolved, we had no knowledge of what we needed to do for ghost hunting. Our gear was always sort of like whatever, we used the same camera, the Osmo rig that BuzzFeed gave us in 2016 or something.
Would it be too tacky on set in the background to have like a station full of our gear? It's like almost like holstered up on the wall, like different stuff.
There is a thing called a Wonder Box that is basically a giant spirit box. It's like looks like a lunch pail, and it's super loud, and that could be on set.
It's super loud.
But it also it lessens the so it's just only the voices essentially come through.
I love the
Yeah. Oh boy. Well, folks, we're entering a new era. We have here my new spirit box amplification device.
Bonito.
Now let me make sure all my gadgets and gazmos are turned on.
Gadgets and gazmos.
That's right.
Don't say gazmos.
Yeah,
that sounds sexual.
It's New English.
You can't just say
that's
New English.
Everything's bleeping and blooping.
You're gonna bring this fucking 2x4 to all of our haunted houses?
Yes.
Like a DJ.
That's good. That's so much better. What?
Things kind of worked out in a way where the end of Unsolved coincided with me also leading Are You Scared, and to a lesser degree Top 5, and then this other outside linear project. And then in the background, I was still trying to think of how to make Ghost Files a thing. But the demand that was required by all those other projects, it's not a demand that you could really outsource or delegate, because it's things like leaving notes, literally physically being on the set, traveling. I feel like I haven't been able to do that at my full capacity. Granted, it eventually did get done because we have an amazing team here, as opposed to me going up to them and saying like, this is what it should look like. They had to painfully extract that information from me while I was concentrating on giving notes on Unsolved or something.
Anytime we talk about Unsolved, I am sure to emphasize that so much of the work on Unsolved falls on Ryan.
Met some tough months, and I know it hit Ryan harder than anybody. Emotionally, he started the show. It's a big thing to say goodbye to, but also just working on developing the shows that we're developing here behind the scenes.
In order to ramp up for Ghost Files as Unsolved was drawing to a close, it was just like stuff piled and piled and piled. So yeah, he's sort of a walking corpse for a while there.
Trying to keep the house from burning down over here while being in Iowa is a little tough. I would not recommend taking on that many projects at the same time. Steven said something in a Making Watcher a long time ago where he said the thing about me that he's noticed is that I have a capacity to work that is greater than anybody he's seen. And Steven, I will say, actually is very similar in that way, in that we felt like, okay, to get these opportunities, we're gonna have to make them for ourselves by just virtue of putting our head down and refusing to say no and just powering through, whether that meant sleeping at the office, which we did, or just having no work-life balance, essentially. It's not a great thing. And that was something that powered Unsolved and Worth It for a long time. And at the time, I was like, 25 years old, and I thought like, okay, this is just how you do it. You just work harder. That was kind of a pit that I could reach into. And oftentimes I would, dig down to the pit, just get more and more to keep going. I'd hit like a bottom and, it would knock me back a little bit. I'd even feel a little bit burnt out, but then just put my head down again and I would crash through the bottom and there would be even more cavern below that. And that was just kind of how I operated for the last 6 years, was just continually finding floors, crashing through them, finding more cavern space. And this is the first time in my entire life, I feel like, where I hit a bottom and it was just, and no matter how hard I tried, no matter how much I thought I would just maybe not sleep, maybe I'll just, sacrifice other parts of my life, like friends, family, it didn't work. It just didn't work. And that was really scary. And I feel like I didn't handle that well just because I was so stressed out. I didn't know if I could continue. Like I was thinking, like, am I built for this? Am I built to own a company and have people under me who depend on me? Am I built for that kind of wear and tear? Over the pandemic and remote working and just how crazy busy we got, that was tested a lot. When you're questioning kind of, am I built for this? And you have people depending on you that you care about personally, it's heartbreaking. But I'm really glad we pushed through. We start checking off boxes. We start checking off some of these projects, like, okay, finish Unsolved, finish Are You Scared? It's like, okay, oh shit, we got Ghost Files now.
The process of making a brand new show is always like exciting and terrifying. But for Ghost Files, like seeing the logo come in and that looking super cool, seeing the set come together, this wonderful contact of Nicole's, Billy, who's an incredible production designer, came in and built us this awesome set that we're so happy with and so proud of.
Really excited about the set designs that we have coming together and the creative team that's working on building a new set for us, which I think is going to really add a exciting identity to the show and, really just make it something unique.
Here he comes.
Hey.
Here he comes.
Wow. Looks great. Yeah, it looks so good. Over there. Yeah. I mean, it looks fantastic. Yeah. You did such a good job. Thank you so much.
Set is incredible, and that's because of the hard work of Nicole and Brittney. They really did an amazing job at kindly extracting details from my brain while I was just completely shell-shocked by everything else. There are these small, benchmark moments where you could kind of take in your progress. I've never historically been good at those. When I see things like the set, and I see the things like the gear or the teaser or all these exciting things that are happening with Ghost Files right now, it is exciting to me, and it's like, wow, that's amazing. I can't believe we did that. That moment for me in my brain lasts like a minute before the boulder of anxiety starts to chase me again of like segments and what's gonna be more VO or what's gonna be more storytelling, what's the balance of banter versus horror. I'm actually starting to stress myself out right now as I'm talking about it. I'm trying to learn how to appreciate the small wins because those small wins have a lot of concerted effort from the team around me to get those small wins. And not only for their sake, but I'm trying to appreciate those small wins for myself so that I can keep going.
I can't look at his stupid face. Okay.
Okay.
No, fuck now. Stop it!
All right.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Yesterday, we all crowded around like we were in mission control watching Neil Armstrong step on the moon, and we watched the Ghost Files teaser on the Ghost Files set, which was a fun little Ouroboros moment.
Okay, let's watch it.
That's a real, yeah, good bit from Annihilation.
Oh, I was going all loose.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, Ghost Files teaser. Rough draft.
As the teaser was being finalized by Anthony, we wanted to generate some excitement about the impending show announcement. Similarly to what we did when we launched Watcher, we decided to each tweet out a cryptic I in sync. Or most of us did that.
20 seconds left. All right.
Oh, damn. Oh, damn.
15 seconds.
Damn.
Here we go. Is it the right eye?
That's the right
One eye,
The
Ryan.
brown eye.
One eye. Don't mess this up.
Fuck.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Tweet. Oh. The world will never be the same.
Brian put the wrong eye.
Ryan, you put the two eyes?
How could you?
Change it, Ryan! Quickly!
How could you mess it up?
Don't you remember?
Ryan, I will block you.
I thought we were doing the balls. Okay, so last
We were
week
doing the same thing that we did when we announced the
but
company.
from my memory, for some reason, I was like, yeah, we did the eyes emoji
No!
for Watcher.
Our logo is an eye.
I did not remember that.
Tomorrow's the day that we post the actual teaser for it. I'm imagining there's going to be a groundswell of people who change their Tumblr usernames to, you know, Ghost Files bitch or whatever they want to change it to. Can we park on Ghost Files bitch? That one's gonna be mine.
Oh boy.
You want a donut, Ryan?
No, I'm good, man.
Can I add a
Little
ghost?
bite?
I think I'm okay. I'm not a big donut guy.
Dang
But
it.
appreciate the offer.
I got donuts for you, for Ghost Files.
No, you didn't.
No, I did. I literally stopped. I was like, we gotta
I'm
celebrate
gonna
today.
say-
Well, the next time we announce a new ghost show,
Get what?
I'm a bagel guy.
We have 20 seconds.
We have 20 seconds.
Oh yeah.
We remember to schedule it.
3, 2, 1.
Refresh.
Post.
Refresh.
Going to Instagram now.
Refresh.
Oh, my phone says, is something wrong? Because I was checking my phone.
Steven.
Is now live.
We're Watcher.
Video.
It's up.
There it
It's
is.
up.
I liked it.
Oh, here.
Oh, it's up.
So-
That was the first line.
5 views.
I was the first.
We're just fucking us right now.
Fuck! Oh, my tweet sent.
Okay, mine too.
Thank God.
I do believe that this is going to be an amazing show. We just got to get it done, which is, you know, I guess an easy thing to say. But it's all the days of doing the small little shit that you don't want to do. They build up to that, and that's kind of where we are right now. It's that whole journey versus the end kind of thing. We're getting kind of philosophical now. Oh my God, I'm about to quote Kobe. When you're asking yourself like what the dream is and like, how do I know I've accomplished my goals, or what is that dream? You think that the dream actually is when you get to the goal and you accomplish the thing and you see the thing that you've worked so hard to create, which is this show or this company or anything that's in your life. The dream is those mornings when you actually force yourself to get up when you don't want to get up, or you do the thing that you don't want to do. That's the dream. Because if you feel so strongly about something that you're willing to do those things, that's something that no one can really take away from you. I do believe that everybody here believes in this hard enough that they're willing to do those things. And right now, it's kind of we're in a place where like, yeah, this could be something really big, and that's really exciting. That's also really scary, but it's also very exciting. It's gonna be really funny if this show comes out 6 months from now and everyone's like, that show sucked. Because I just like waxed poetic about it for the past, I don't know how long this interview has been going. All I can say is in this current moment, we're very excited about it. We believe in it. And I'm trying really hard to take in these moments right now.